Hello, this is Mike. I'm the Glampsite Builder here in Honey Grove, Texas. Wanted to talk to you today about a topic that I like. It was kind of fun getting into it and buying things for the property. And I'm calling this video using reclaimed materials and free stuff. So I'm going to go over some things that I have purchased on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to tell you what I paid for it, and maybe you might be going, what am I going to do with that thing? So I'm going to give you some ideas of way you can utilize used stuff that gives your property character. And I'm going to get into reclaimed wood. That probably my biggest score I've gotten since I've been at this property is how I've scored reclaimed wood. So anyways, so I am going to stop this and I'm going to turn it around. You're not going to get to see my pretty face, so I have to apologize about that. Okay guys, so here's a good example of something that I just saw online that I didn't have a use for at the time, but I wanted to think it through and go, geez, where could I use those cool old windows? So these are old windows that were taken out of a house, and a guy that installs windows for a living, he's got a game where he takes out the old windows, sells them for 10 bucks each, gets lunch money for the day, and puts in the new windows and doesn't have to drive off to the dump with them. So he sells these for 10 bucks each. So I bought them and I found a use for them. I knew that it was a good value. I could turn this into a whole wall. I think we're going to use this in a craft room. We're going to make a room that you can do crafts and stuff in, and we're going to make it rustic and with this vibe of you know, these old kind of windows. And then this gazebo is one of my favorites. We got this gazebo locally here, believe it or not. I mean, we're out here in Honey Grove, Texas, and it's out in a rural area, and it just so happened that the person selling this gazebo was out here in Honey Grove, Texas. So when we pick it up, you know, they say, geez, I know it's old and dingy, but you know, if you paint it, and I'm like, oh no, we don't want to paint it. We want to keep it the way it is. So we're going to put plants at the bottom of each of these posts and have vines grow through it. So again, this is a feature that's going to add a lot of character right when you drive into our park. So there's a lot of value in some of these things, and you can really save a lot of money. Okay, so here's another spot at our park where I was shopping for these day beds. I think I got this one for 200 bucks because it came with the mattress. Then we figured out, okay, what are we going to do with this day bed? So we're pretty happy with what we came up with. We utilized some of the lumber from the forest by using them for the cedar for the posts and the brackets. But we took a $200 day bed, put a rug underneath it, hung it off of a structure, and it's one of the favorite spots for a lot of people to stay at, especially my mother-in-law loves to sit there. This, we don't have it hooked up yet. This I scored last week. Since this unit here has a bathroom in the back and we have hot water heater, we're going to run a hot water and a cold water line along the back of the deck and connect it to this copper tub. So here's another instance where you look at this tub and go, wow, that's a real copper tub. I can't believe he spent that much money on it. Well, I look through, you know, Marketplace every day practically, and I see this for 100 bucks. And it's a typical scenario that I run across. I go to the house, well, we're remodeling our house. We don't want this anymore. It doesn't fit our style. So I look at something when I see a huge value and say, well, what can I do with it? So I have the shower inside, but I'm going to now utilize this tub if somebody wanted to take an outdoor bath, or if somebody wants to just soak. I'll hook up the plumbing, and two cool items that I paid a total, the day bed $200, the copper tub $100. So that's 300 bucks. big savings. Okay, I'm going to use the community area for another example of utilizing stuff that you find on Marketplace and putting it into your campsite. So this was 25 bucks. I remember buying this. We're going to keep some games and some bug spray and stuff in this little cabinet. You know, and since it's all wood and it's already rustic and patina, we don't care if it fades out a little more. Again, utilizing materials. This post, these posts for the countertop are cedar that we just got out of the forest here. This countertop is solid oak that we got out of an oak tree here. This sink is out of a chunk of wood that from a tree that fell here, and my right-hand man made this awesome sink, all reclaimed lumber from the forest. Here's an example of another purchase in Facebook Marketplace. I like buying stuff that I don't see before, so this one's got a big area to the left that you could put a fridge in. I don't think we're going to put a fridge there, and a cup holder, shelf underneath, a big bench. But I bought this because of the green egg that I really wanted to have here. Even though I've never used one, again, I'm looking for things to lure people to my park. So there might be somebody that's really into barbecuing, really into doing something with a green egg. Maybe it's somebody that has always wanted to use one of these and they've never used one and they're thinking of buying one. So I bought this whole setup for like, I think 300 bucks for the table with the green egg. These things I usually bought for 50 bucks. The little ice chests that people make, and they come in all different styles and so on. Here's a cool one that I bought. This one was 100 bucks. But I liked it because it had two ice chests, and then it has a compartment in the middle to put stuff. It's all made out of cedar. It's all gray and patina. I don't have to paint it. I don't have to maintain it. Spent 100 bucks on it and added cool coolers to my community area. I'm going to go across this bridge. By the way, this bridge is all reclaimed wood. Underneath this cedar is a pallet, a long pallet that I found that we used as a base. We wrapped the pallet with cedar. These are all cedar planks that we cut from the forest here. Same with the handrails and the posts. So this is all utilized right from this forest. These two chairs, again, I go for stuff that looks unique, custom, awesome. Yes, I could put, a small little plastic bench there and a plastic yellow chair but it's not the look I'm going for. I'm going for the rustic, authentic nature, earth tones and so on. And the big benefit of going with that style is you find all sorts of stuff like this for a low price. I paid 150 bucks for those two chairs. So those are some examples of cool stuff that I scored here at the community area, and on to the next. Okay, we're calling this our camping tents area. What we're doing, and we're going to try and see what kind of response we get, because we're going to be opening this up and we're going to be testing the market on different structures and products. But we're going to try putting 3 small tents together in the back so that a family, a group of people, 3 couples, if they want to do the more hardcore camping, we set up the decks with the tents and blow up mattresses inside. So we have 3 basic tents, but we created a whole campsite buying used stuff, and I think giving the camping area some character. So for example, and none of this stuff I spent any real money on. I mean, it's like this table and chairs, I think I got that for like $150. Remember, I got this whole set. It's a little janky. you know, as far as stability, but it's cool, it works. Got that for $100, the whole set. So again, it's got a lot of character, one of a kind. Somebody spent some time building it, and that's the kind of stuff we want in our camp. Here's a used barbecue we bought for $50. It has a smoker on the backside. All these pieces, that little table, I paid $50. Boy, I bought these 2 lounge chairs a really long time ago, so I don't remember what I paid for these, but I have 2 of them that I probably paid $50 each, $75. Probably didn't even pay $75 each. And then all these Adirondack chairs, you know, this one, these 2 have a painted finish. They're solid wood. They work real well, but they're different than these 2. So these are made out of wine barrels, and they're built like tanks, super solid. And what's cool about this set is you got the, it's curved because of the shape of the barrel, and then they take the barrel top and make a little table out of it. So all of this is made out of a wine barrel. And again, we buy it because we think it looks cool. It's one of a kind, huh? I haven't seen that before, and so on. Here's another little set that we purchased. So, you know, to just show you, I didn't point out in the back, but I got one of those like $50 ice chests that people make. So these chairs I bought for nothing. So I just wanted to point out, you could take some basic tents and buy some used cool stuff, one of a kind, stuff that can sit in the weather, and it only looks better the more and more weather it gets. Okay, now I'm heading over to the Airstream patio, which is one of my favorite spots. Show you what we did here. What was kind of nice is we've got some of the, you know, dried out gray looking patina wood on some posts, and these teak sets that you can buy, they look great when you leave them gray, you let them patina. I learned as a contractor working with an interior designer that worked for a resort, that's a desired look. You know, get that teak and get it to where it's all silver and gray looking. So here's another great set that we bought. It's already patinaed. You don't paint it. You don't have to maintain it. You just set it up and use them. We sit here all the time. This is probably our favorite spot to sit. Here are 2 chairs that I bought that, man, I just love them. They're, I paid $150 each, but these things would be over $1,000 each retail. I bought them from an interior designer that used these to decorate a house that they were selling in Montana. And you can't tell, but they're made out of solid hickory, and they're about the 2 most very high quality pieces of furniture I've ever seen built like this. They're really good and solid. But anyway, so again, I'm sticking with the rustic theme. I'm utilizing the oak from a tree here in the forest and hickory branch chairs. These are bought brand new. This I bought brand new. I'm going to say, if for people that don't know these portable spas, they're really a good value. You can get them, I think, for $499 from Costco, Amazon, and all of them use the same Salu spa motor, and they just print different names on the spas. But the thing that I love about this one is it's comfortable, it's soft, it's great to sit in, and believe it or not, I like it better than the old ones I used to get, because I always have a spa that are made out of fiberglass and so on. I actually like these better. We don't even use the bubbles, but the thing that's great about this is you use this for a spa most of the year, but like right now we have the heater turned off because it's summer, and I've used this thing as a little pool plunge, so that's been really great. And these little fire pits, usually you can see someone selling them online. This particular one's new. I bought a couple of them used. They're kind of hard to find, but I like how they have a sliding lid. And see if I can show you this. This slides up, throw the wood in, then I just drop it down. So as far as safety, this is what I feel like I'm going to be using on everything, because when you're around trees, you know, you can put the rock down like we did, but you got to be safe. So here's our fire extinguisher that we have in between our fire pit and our barbecue. And here's a little guy that I bought at a little flea market for 75 bucks. Really like them, made out of teak. Again, here's another countertop utilized from the forest here. So that's it for the Airstream. Okay, what I want to talk about now is wood, reclaimed wood. So these are cedar posts out of the forest here. You can see this other one is a cedar post. And what we did on these two is we stripped the bark, because we were told that, you know, you need to strip the bark so that bugs and stuff don't deteriorate the post. But I've talked to somebody else that says, nah, I've had my cedar bark on my post forever and they've been fine. So here's an example of this. What you're looking at is cedar with the bark on. This is the cedar that has all the bark taken off. Now, if you look on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of guys using these hand carving tools to take the bark off, and the rough and rugged way to do it. I used the sissy way to do it, and that is I took my power washer that has this rotating nozzle that strips all the stuff off of the post. So here's another one that's stripped, no bark, and comparing it to something with the bark. So you can see, you know, you leave the bark on, parts of it might come off in the future, but for the vibe that I got going here, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm fine with it. So again, utilizing the wood, you can keep the bark on, you can take the bark off. That little toe kick that we have down there is a cedar board. And for you contractors that are out there, I don't have to go through inspections and codes, and so I'm not putting the typical handrails. I want to be able to see through this railing. So what I did is I put a middle rail, and I put what I'm calling a kick plate, piece of baseboard, whatever, but it's cedar that I got out of the forest here, and we put it down all around here. So where we saved a lot of money was we had some trees to take down, and they all had to be ripped down. I hired a guy that had a portable sawmill, and what he ended up doing was pulling his truck and his sawmill up onto my property, and he started cranking out all these oak countertops. So these two that you see here, he was just zipping them one after another. I got 15 of these slabs sitting in my workshop area. So I've got plenty of oak slabs for the rest of the project, for little countertops and some cool options. So look around. I know you might be at a Glampsite that doesn't have wood and trees and is not the same scenario, so I might not be helping everybody on this, but it is something that you can look into. I mean, you can look into even buying posts and things like that. So this is one of the other units. Again, here's a little Facebook item I bought for 25 bucks. And there's some things I've gotten for free. You know, when I went and purchased something and I asked about something else, oh, you can have it. So again, I'm looking for one-of-a-kind ideas and decorations. So I got my firewood stacked here. I bought this at a flea market, 50 bucks. Old school long handsaw. So this unit is going to be pretty much fresh, new, and crisp. So, but you can see we utilize the cedar posts. And then I'm going to show you the siding here in a second. So in closing, guys, I just wanted to recap that I saved thousands and thousands of dollars by going on Facebook Marketplace, finding stuff that I need, and then also looking for things that, what can I do with that? Because it's so cheap, maybe I can be creative and bring something out. And then again, not everyone's got trees that they had to cut down for their park, but luckily we did, and we've been able to build a ton of stuff out of the trees that we had to take out for the paths. And in 5 acres of land that no one's touched forever, there were a share of some dead trees that we're able to utilize. So anyways, keep your eyes open for deals on Facebook. I love doing that, and start learning the game on how to get deals, racing to get the free wood, and you know, doing something fun. I think it adds character to the park when you have one-of-a-kind items. And like one person said to me when they left, they came here and they checked it out and they're going, man, you can tell you guys put some love into it. So I like that, because it's, you know, that's what we are doing. We're looking for cool little things to put in the park so that when people walk around, you know, they think it's a cool park. So that's it for the day. And really want to challenge you guys to, you know, start looking at things that you can buy used. Oh, one more tip before I go. One of the things that I do sometimes is, let's say I need to get, I bought a ditch witch to put plumbing lines in the ground. Well, I could rent one for 3 days, you know, and pay $675 for 3 days, and then give it back to them, and hopefully we get the work done in the 3 days. Or what I did is I purchased an old ditch witch, a used one, for $1,000. I used it as much as I want, and now it's going to be sold for $1,000. If you get good deals on some tools and equipment, you might say, geez, I don't need a big trailer. I'm just going to go rent this one. Well, if you're going to need a trailer for a bunch of days, maybe you're best to buy one and then turn around and sell it. So I've done that with RVs and boats and tools, and, you know, try to find a really good deal on something, use it for what you need, and then turn around and sell it. That has helped me mostly with tools and some big tools. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, I love doing this stuff. I do consult, and if I can help you guys with anything, let me know. Again, this is Mike, the Glampsite Builder. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.